Reiteramos la ubicación de cada uno de los pilotos de los 16 que forman parte de esta carrera inicial de la carrera a cualquiera, con Jan Erlarcher en la máquina 68, en el cajón número 1, en el cajón número 2, la máquina 3 de Tomás Silco, luego Mentite Nanico en la número 2 y en 61 Néstor Girolami para conformar la segunda fila de partida. La tercera está Tensior con la máquina 62 y Esteban Guerrieri, el de Matadero con la máquina 86. En la cuarta fila Thiago Monteiro con Wtcc para conformar la quinta, Nick Gatsburg con Joe Filippi, la sexta Tom Coronel con Robert Gaff, la séptima Daniel Nagui con David Sabó, y cerrando Kevin Lipson en Estados Unidos, muy cerca de él, en el cajón número 16, la máquina del río Michigami para marcar lo que es esta carrera apertura del Wtcc en Termas del Río Hondo, por sexto año consecutivo. Por quinto año consecutivo, sexta carrera del año. Quinta vez que viene a Termas, ahí está. Desde el 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, ahí estamos. Ahora sí, que nos marcaban de un lado que sí y del otro que no. Ahí estamos. Con el Wtcc.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. ADC 1, 2, 3.
Hello, and you can hear me, yeah? Hello, Paris? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Paris. Yeah, sorry, that's the first time I can hear you in my ears. Okay, so we're all set to go live, yeah? Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, thank you. Hello and welcome to Argentina. It's the sixth weekend of the 2017 FIA World Touring Car Championship rounds 11 and 12 of the championship. And if qualifying's anything to go by, Volvo in a great position to take the spoils in the main race. But first up, we have the first race of the weekend, and it is a first pole in any category for Jan Urklacher, and he lines up on the front row alongside Britain's Tom Chilton, who started second here last year and won this race. Cracking stuff from the Brit. He's looking to do the same again today.
For the opening race, I'm starting P6 in my country. Very happy to race here in front of all my people. It's a bit cold, but it's gonna be a great 2 races. Now warming up the tires a little bit. We had a very good qualifying, starting in, qualify P4, which making me start this reverse wheel in 6 because of Michigami, which is not started due to a penalty. So hopefully we go for a good one here, trying to get some places. for a good start, and then we see how the battle goes in the first few laps. It's going to be very interesting. The track is brilliant, great place here in Argentina. I love this track. It suits me really good. Here was my debut last year, and I really enjoyed. So thanks very much for watching. And now I go in Spanish. Ahora sí en español para mi gente argentina, latinoamericana, a través de la pantalla de Fox. Estamos haciendo la vuelta de reconocimiento, largando sexto en esta carrera. Ayer clasificamos cuartos, así que ojalá podamos tener un buen domingo. Ya estamos por engrillarnos. Está fresca la pista, pero por eso estamos calentando bien los neumáticos. Ojalá tengamos una buena partida y a luchar para toda la gente que nos está viendo, que nos acompaña a través de la pantalla y acá en la pista. Que tengan un buen domingo. Nos vemos después, ojalá en el podio.
Well, cracking insight there from our hometown hero, Esteban Guerri, and he lines up not too far down the order on the third row. It's worth pointing out, and I will just introduce Richard Coleman alongside me. My name's Tom Gaymore, that this is the reverse grid, Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. So this gives some of the drivers that aren't perhaps quite as quick to challenge for pole position a chance at a great race result, but also offers us a great opportunity to see the fast drivers come through and hopefully some classic overtaking.
So apparently Urlacher is on pole in any category for the first time in 2 years. So this will be an interesting experience for him. I'm sure he'll be a little bit nervous.
And I think further to that, it's the first time he's actually ever started from pole position on a standing start. So no pressure.
No pressure at all. Alongside him, he's got a very experienced and fast Brit, Tom Chilton, aboard the Sebastian Loeb Racing Citroën. That is your front row, and then behind him it's Mehdi Benani and Nestor Girolami. All 16 cars form up on the grid. You'll see the green flag wave, and then it'll be all eyes on the start gantry. Well, it seems to be an incredibly long hold. I think everyone's in position. Everyone but the marshal at the back. There goes the green flag. Well, that seemed to take an eternity to wave. I've seen longer processes than that, but the red lights are on now. The engine revs rise, and it's a reasonably short hold, and it's a good start from Tom Chilton. Urlacher coming across to cover, and it looks as though he might have the run down to turn one. Tom Chilton still having a look, getting squeezed on the inside. Look at the Volvo of Ted Bjork coming around the outside of Mehdi Benani, but Benani it is in the second of the Citroën that slots in to third place, leaving the two blue Volvos to fight it out behind one of the Hondas. Who was that? Montero.
That's Montero into Michelitz in turn two there. That's not what they want at all. Those guys need to get their heads down and start overtaking some of these slower cars. And has Michelitz got a puncture?
Yeah,
I think Michelitz might have a puncture.
And that is courtesy of that contact there. So Thiago Montero torpedoing his teammate. Rule number one in motorsport, don't hit your teammate. That's happened. Tom Chilton looking aggressive, trying to go around the outside of Urlacher, get the switch back. He uses the car to give him a little friendly tap wide, and that means Tom Chilton now into the lead ahead of Urlacher, and it looks as though Mehdi Benani's having a run as well. This could spell trouble for the Frenchman, and Benani looks to be up the inside.
The stewards may want to have a look at that Tom Chilton overtake. He wouldn't have made that unless he'd made contact. But he's in a difficult position there because he couldn't have given the position back. And look, they're side by side.
Yeah, Urlacher refusing to give up. And this is what we wanted to see from the Frenchman. He now fights back and gets ahead of Benani, who gets rather squirrely and is ahead of the Volvo. It looks as though that is Ted Bjork that's ahead of Nestor Girolami.
And if the race finished in this order, Ted Bjork would be leading the World Championship.
Plenty of rear wheels looking up. Look at the Volvos there. Ted Bjork getting pushed through by Girolami, because Girolami's racing Guerri and was trying to get the run. As it is, Guerri it is who slots in now to fifth place.
Last puncture you have left front from the screen.
And yeah, Nestor Girolami, it is ahead of Nicky Katzberg. Tom Chilton, though, way out in front now. That battle between Erklacher and Mehdi Benani has helped him, and Thiago Monteiro now starting to find his rhythm. The recovering Thiago Monteiro fighting with Nicky Katzberg. Girolami's lost out there. How did he lose out in turn one? We didn't see that because he was right up behind Ted Bjork.
Yeah, Michelet's still not even back to the pit lane yet. That's effectively his race over. It's very unlikely he'll score points in this first opening race. So with Girolami now heading backwards, it looks as though the Argentinian hopes all focus on Esteban Guerri. Esteban Guerri, who started on the third row alongside Ted Bjork, now holed up behind the Swede. I think it was a pure mistake from Thiago that got him into his teammate, but crucially in the tactical battle now, Volvo have 3 cars in play, whereas Monteiro's got it all to do. So Volvo could start to play a bit more of a tactical game in this race. So it's actually hurting Thiago as well.
Norby Michelis will be really disappointed with that, but like you said, Thiago Monteiro incredibly fair, very experienced and very honest, and not the type of guy that goes bumping and boring, especially into the side of his teammate. That would have just been cold tyres, cold brakes down into the second turn, and in that racing environment, you just get sucked into the battle, and it looks as though he was helped into the side of Norby Michelis on his account anyway. Yeah,
I think he just snatched a break going into turn 2, like you said, Tom. Cold brakes, cold tyres, very easy to do, even for an experienced head like the World Championship leader, Thiago Monteiro.
Tom Chilton it is who continues to lead aboard the Citroën Alese, the Sebastian Loeb run machine. Then it's Jan Erklacher aboard his Lada Vesta, the RC Motorsport car. And then it's the second of the Sebastian Loeb run cars, Mehdi Benani, right up behind Erklacher, ahead of Esteban Guerri, who in turn is in the Chevrolet Cruze, the Ray Mallock built car run by Campos Racing.
It's early doors, but these 3 opening laps have been crucial for Tom Chilton. He's built up a nice lead, but crucially, he's now got enough of a gap where the cars behind aren't in his slipstream. So it'll be very difficult for them to maintain his pace on the straight. So now he's got a great chance of winning this race.
And Mehdi Benani and the likes of Esteban Guerri still need to get past the inexperienced Jan Erklacher, and Erklacher will want to hold on to this rostrum.
Don't worry about Guerri. He has new tires. He will soon have used the best of them. He might also have started with higher pressures, as he has been really quick in the beginning. So find your pace and be patient. The race will come back to you.
Crucial piece of information there from the Volvo team to Ted Bjork. And basically they're saying that Esteban set up his car for this race and for it to come on early. So we'll see how that pans out.
Jan Erklacher leading Mehdi Benani, but falling back from Tom Chilton. And I was saying he'll really want to hold on to this with all his might, and that could play into the hands of Tom Chilton more so as well, as Mehdi Benani and Esteban Guerri start to try and challenge if they can. They might not have the pace to challenge Jan Erklacher. He seems to be holding his own.
There's a huge amount of experience behind him in this train of race-winning drivers, not only in this championship, but in many other international series. But this is the first time that Erklacher's been to this circuit, so it's very impressive the job that he's doing. But I'll be honest, Tom, I don't expect him to stay there.
And rubbing his racing in touring cars, so if they do get onto the back of him, as we saw with Tom Chilton, they might not need a second opportunity. Tom just using his car a little bit to get past the young Frenchman.
Ted Bjork also here has a great situation where his teammates are behind him, almost his rear gunners. The Volvo team are entitled to race, but they also know that Ted Bjork's will lead the World Championship if the race finishes like this. And therefore they're going to give him some breathing space until he picks his moment to start attacking Guerri later in the race when his tyres start to go away from him.
And that's why that information was crucial, because they were giving Ted Bjork the information not to throw it all away, not to panic early on. You know, you're in a great position, just helping him realise the bigger picture.
Absolutely, and there's some good tasty battles going on further down here at the running order for the top 10. Remember, the top 10 are the points paying positions.
Yeah, they are indeed. This is the Zengo Motorsport run car of Zolt Szabo. Ahead of him is Daniel Nagy. They are 14th and 15th. Norby Michelis out the race in 16th. But Zolt Szabo coming here from European Touring Cars, his first foray into the World Championship. And now Guerri just runs a little bit wide, and that's allowed Ted Bjork to get the run. Can't get through on the outside, but he'll have a good bit of momentum, and he's got to be careful there. And that's why he's got to be careful, because trying to challenge around the outside there, it was only going to end one way. Guerri was only ever going to send him a little bit wider than he already was.
I'm really surprised at that. He risked a huge amount there at this stage of the race, and now World Championship leader Thiago Monteiro has passed him as a result.
So small margins there, but for me, on board, I could see there that Guerri was only ever going to run him wide. It's not the place. There's one line through here. It's a very quick right-hander, an incredibly quick right-hander where there is one line. And Thiago Monteiro now has two Volvos behind, and the experienced Rob Huff aboard the all-Inkle car is there as well. 6 laps still to go here in Argentina. Welcome back to the Circuito Termas de Rio Honda, and the lead battle starting to build here. Jan Urlacher pulling away. We thought he would fall into the clutches of Mehdi Banani and Esteban Guerri. Not the case. He's obviously run tyres, but going very, very quickly as well. Doing a great job. He's never been to this circuit before. He's in his rookie season, so he's doing a fantastic job. But as we said, he's probably put his new tyres on for this race, because this race and his grid position gave him the best chance of success. But nonetheless, he's found a great rhythm and he's found a great lap time. He's lapping only 2/10 slower than the race leader, Tom Chilton. On board with Esteban. Yeah, you spotted that there straight away, and that's Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg third in the championship, and that spells disaster for the Dutchman. And the Polestar Scion Volvo crew look on, and you can just see what is at stake there. The expression says it all. DNFs are punished in this championship, and Katzberg there, he must have run a curve or had some contact of some sort.
The Volvo team will certainly be hoping so, because the settings are likely to be very similar on Girolami and Ted Bjork's car. So if that is a tyre failure, they'll be pretty worried. So he may have had some contact, or like you said, run wide, or hit a curb a little bit hard. But nonetheless, that's a disaster for him.
Well, that moves everyone up. Thiago Monteiro down. So Monteiro now up to 5th. Ted Bjork still behind, having lost out earlier on in the race. The chap second in the championship, the Swede, was battling with the Argentinian Esteban Guerri, put his nose where it wasn't wanted and was run off wide coming onto the long back straight, and that allowed Monteiro to pass. And you're looking at Nicky Katzberg getting his car back to the pits. And I suppose the only positive out of that is he has got back to the pit lane and there's no damage.
Girolami, has he got a puncture as well, or is this a different fault?
Girolami's car's not running. He's trying to restart it there.
So Volvo have gone from being in the pound seats for this event to really struggling in a matter of laps. First a mistake from their lead driver Ted Bjork, then a tyre failure for Katzberg, and now another technical issue for Girolami.
And as I was saying, the benefit for Nicky Katzberg is there's no damage on that car and he's got it back to the pit lane. Nestor Girolami, there's a short gap between this race and the next race. He's not even got back to the pit lane, so they can't work on that car. And that, if it is a bigger issue, a fuel pump issue or something like that, that's disaster that he's not got back.
Very valuable time lost in fixing the car, just as you say. So let's hope he can get it back into the pit lane.
So, third sector yellow flags are out because he was painstakingly close. It's almost like running out of petrol when you can see the service station on the motorway. Poor old Nestor Girolami, that car is cut out, it's not restarting. And so you would hazard a guess that that's an electrical issue or some kind of fuel issue there with the starter motor ticking over.
Absolutely, the car seems to have some electrics, but as you said, no drive. Just looking at the onboard shots there, Guerrieri's car is really planted through the fast section. He was pulling away from Thiago in that section of the circuit.
Still, it's Tom Chilton who leads, his gap around 3 seconds. Then it is the very impressive Jan Erklacher, the young French driver who's doing a really good job in this opening race. He'd never started from pole position and never had a standing start from pole position. And you volunteered that information. Really staggering stuff. He's holding Mehdi Benani behind and also Esteban Guerri and Thiago Monteiro, and he's good for pace.
Yeah, he absolutely is. That first tight and twisty section and the first part of the lap is where he's struggling. But again, on the even with the slipstream here, Thiago Monteiro is not really catching up on Guerrieri. Just trying to put him under a little bit of pressure under the brakes, just trying to give a little bit of distraction in his mirrors, try and force Esteban into an error. But at the moment, he's proving a very difficult car to get around.
And this is where Thiago Monteiro has experience. Championship leader going into round 11 here, and he will not look to repeat the same mistake that 5-second penalty for car 3. So he'll not look to repeat the same mistake. So
that must be for the opening lap.
Yeah.
I thought the stewards would want to have a look at that, and they clearly have. So a time penalty has been awarded. Now this is crucial because at the moment Tom Chilton only has a 3-second lead.
This will drop him back to around 6th place.
So he needs, and maybe he's been trying to control the pace of this race. But yeah, it's unlikely he's going to be able to gap another 2 seconds.
We didn't get to see that from outside the car. We saw it inside the car, didn't we? And you, quite rightfully, and really that's why you paid the money, you are, Richard, said it spot on. We didn't see that they're investigating it, but that's heartbreak for Tom Chilton. He'll be really disappointed. But Jan Erklacher now in the driving seat in 2nd place and not under real pressure. You'll see the young Frenchman, there he is. And Mehdi Benani in 3rd will now inherit 2nd. Tom Chilton just needs to push. He's got that message. Listen now.
We have a 5-second penalty. You currently are 2.8 in the lead, so you need to push.
That was post the event. And we've not heard Tom's response there, probably for obvious reasons.
He's gone from having a win in his pocket to looking... I think that's probably a delayed message from the yellow flag that we had in Sector 3, which isn't there now. So there's no reason why Tom can't put his foot down. But at the moment, Urlacher is actually putting his foot down too. He's probably received the message from his engineer, but at the moment he's actually quicker just slightly in the sector time. So it's going to be very, very difficult for Tom Chilton to hold on to this win, if not impossible.
So Tom Chilton leads on the road, but drama here in Argentina. We've seen Nicky Katzberg with a puncher. We've seen Ted Bjork run wide and lose spots. We've seen Nesta Girolami crawl to a halt. And now, as well as Norby Michelis in contact with his teammate at the beginning, the race leader, Tom Chilton, has a 5-second penalty. And with a lap and a half to go, it's going to be really interesting to see where he ends up. Surely he can't win it from here.
No, it's unlikely. That section there is where Guerrieri pulls out some lap time, and that's really what's kept his race alive and kept Montero at bay. Montero will now catch up through this first part of the lap, but in the second half of the lap, Guerrieri is so much quicker, so it's been proving very difficult for Montero to get up behind him.
Final lap here in Argentina, and Tom Chilton doing his best to try and get ahead, or as far ahead as from this man, as he possibly can. Jörn Urlacher, the Frenchman, ahead of Mehdi Benani and Esteban Guerrieri. Could this be an Argentine on the podium as well? This is going to be really interesting. All eyes on the timing screen, but you can visibly see that's not 5 seconds, and he's going to drop.
Montero's pulled out, but I think he's too far back.
He's going to drop down towards the end of that train.
So this looks like it's going to be a maiden win for Urlacher here. You know, he's just got to keep it together for the final part of this lap, and it will be a debut win for the young Frenchman.
So Jörn Urlacher has only scored, well, his best finish is 8th so far in the championship, and this is a real turnaround of events for him at a circuit that he hadn't seen before.
And although he finished second on the road, here's Montero on the radio.
Yeah, go push hard because Chilton has got the 5-second penalty. Right now we have 1:10 margin. Okay, push, push, push.
So Thiago Montero getting the hurry up, because that's where Chilton's going to filter back into, just behind Guerrieri or behind Thiago Montero. Here comes Tom Chilton across the line. He'll win on the road, but he's going to drop back, and the real winner will be the Frenchman Jörn Urlacher, and a win for Lada as well, ahead of Mehdi Benani in the Sebastian Loeb Citroën Alese. And then, yes, it's finished, Jan.
Checkered flag, checkered flag. Chilton has a time penalty, so you have won the race. Yeah, Chilton has a 5-second penalty, so you have
Dave
won
Scott,
the race.
his race engineer.
Thank you, guys. Spasiba. Spasiba, guys. Thank you.
Despite saying thank you in Russian there to his mechanics.
Very good job. Be careful on the way in, okay? Do not miss the weighbridge, yeah? Do not miss the weighbridge and the instruction.
Well, this is going to be the interesting bit. Dave Scott there talking about the formalities that come when you win a race. Jörn Urlacher has never been in this position before. Thiago Montero, where did he finish?
He missed it by a 10th.
5.1, yeah, 5.1 seconds behind Tom. So Tom will filter into 5th. Thiago Montero, Ted Bjork dropped down to 6th and 7th. So Guerrieri up onto the podium. The Argentine on the podium with Jörn Urlacher, Mehdi Benani. So that's good for the Argentine fans, and a bit of tyre debris down there. We didn't see what happened to Nesta Girolami. He's probably been towed back into the pit lane, which is a blessing for him, and hopefully he'll get that car up and running, or his Polestar Sign crew will.
Let's not take too much away from Urlacher finishing second on the road, because, you know, he's a very young kid. He's, like you said, he's only finished 8th before in a World Touring Car race. So it's been a very, very impressive drive for him, despite finishing second on the road. You know, I don't think anybody expected him to finish so high up, really. So all credit to him for putting together such a great race. And, of course, heartbreak for Tom Chilton, who, in reality, led the whole race from turn 5 onwards on lap 1. And, yeah, he's going to be further down the field. I think he's probably going to finish a race around 5th.
He'll be really, really gutted with that, but the rules are rules, and as Doesn't matter how harsh you think they are, you've got to abide by what the officials say. We didn't actually see it out of the car, which was frustrating, but nevertheless, he had good pace. We did this man a disservice, or I did. I said, will he hang on? He didn't hang on. He drove away to a certain extent from Mehdi Benani. Almost a second clear.
He looked pretty emotional on the in-lap, so be interesting to see how he reacts when he sees his team that have worked very, very hard to get him into this position to be a race winner in the FIA World Touring Car Championship.
Jan Erklacher out of the car to celebrate with his crew. And this will be a moment he'll remember, a win on an international stage and a win for Lada as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys, they haven't got the works factory support that they've had in previous years. So I think it's been a pretty difficult winter to put this program together. And this will mean a lot to everybody in that team.
Well, if you've never watched World Touring Cars before, don't go anywhere, because there's a short pause now between this first race and the main race. The main race slightly longer than this 11-lap race, just by a couple of laps. 13 laps, the main race. That'll see Nicky Katzberg start from pole position ahead of Ted Bjork. But all eyes now on Jan Erklacher and his moment in the spotlight as he wins the first race here in Argentina. There is your classification after Tom Chilton's penalty. Erklacher ahead of Mehdi Benani. Then it's Esteban Guerri rounding out the podium. Tom Chilton slots into 4th and Montero down to 5th ahead of Ted Bjork, Rob Huff and John Filippi. Coronel 9th, Rio Michigami from the back of the grid, rounding out the top 10.
And he does it, your first ever standing start pole position, ends up in your first ever World Touring Car win. Congratulations, Jan. Talk us through that race.
Thank you. It's amazing. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It was a tough race. I get a little hit by Tom at the beginning, so I lose the place with him. I was pushing a lot because many behind me was pushing too. So it was a tough race, but at the end we won it. So
what happened when? What went through your head when you, I imagine, heard over the radio that the penalty had been applied to Tom?
It's a penalty, so it's not fair racing. But anyway, it's a win, so I'll take it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
A win's a win. And another opportunity for us to get a commercial break under our belt. We'll be back with more reaction and the main race still to come.
Okay, Jan, incredible race there in the first win. Talk us through it.
It was a good race. I did a good start, and today.
Bravo, merci. Très belle course.
Vamos, carajo. Vamos, defendiste bien la posición. ¡Bien, Esteban!
Sí, defendí bien. No estamos largando bien, es obviamente un déficit que tenemos.
con respecto a los demás, pero bueno, en definitiva es una buena carrera.
¿Uno de los podios más importantes?
I hope Jan Erklacher's learnt the words to the French national anthem. First on to the rostrum is Esteban Guerri with his Argentina shirt. Well, we're used to seeing Jose Maria Lopez on the podium, so this is nice for the home fans.
Yeah, naturally Esteban very popular here, being an Argentinian driver. And I know that it's been a huge amount of hard work in the background to get him into this race and get the funding together. So it's great that he's secured that podium position.
On the top step, Frenchman Jan Erklacher.
I love the Argentina shirt there. That's a great touch from Esteban. And Max Minkemko from the Lada Sport team to take the trophy for the team's championship.
Jan Erklacher and RC Motorsport. Presenting the trophy to Esteban Guerri for third position is Wtcc, president of the Argentine Chamber of Tourism.
Well, the voice you can hear in the background is Alexandre Legui doing the podium announcement. First to get his trophy, Esteban Guerri. This is a popular moment for him.
Bernani drove a great race, actually. He was very sensible. He was under a bit of pressure from perhaps faster drivers behind him during the race. He's really grown up in this World Touring Car Championship. Sometimes he was a bit wild back in the day. Sometimes some big accidents and some crowd pleasers. But yeah, no, he's really grown up with this series and is very much one of the stalwarts now, really, of the series.
Yeah, polished article, isn't he? So Jan getting his trophy, and he will grow in confidence off the back of this result. He knows he can race with the very best now. Time for a photo opportunity.
And of course, with Jan being an independent driver, not backed by a factory team, he also collects the Wtcc trophy as well for independent drivers. It's hard for these guys to get their head back in the game for the second race after getting giddy from the podium. But that's what they'll have to do in only a matter of few minutes.
No champagne.
No.
So team getting their winner's trophy now. No factory representation on this reverse grid podium. That's pretty much how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Gives these guys an opportunity to get those results, but also gives us some spicy racing as part of that. It's been and it was a really good race, but I think sometimes, you know, perhaps Montero, Bjork, these guys were looking after themselves a little bit. Well, probably Bjork in the second half of the race after that error early on, but I'm expecting a great race for race 2. Rob Huff was very quiet in the race, but yeah, he went up from 12th position to P7, so that was a pretty solid drive from him to get some points after a pretty bad day yesterday, performance-wise in qualifying.
Yeah, bemoaning brake woes throughout practice. New brakes for qualifying didn't work out, but hopefully his balance will have been better in that first race. I think we're getting another photo opportunity here. half the podium's been blanked out by the Argentinian flag.
And of course, whilst these drivers are savouring quite rightly the moments that they've achieved in this race, their teams are preparing mentally for the next race, and shortly we'll be starting repair time to prepare the cars.
And just talk us through what that repair time is and when does it start?
So we only get 10 minutes or so to repair the cars or to make setup changes for the next race, which puts the crews under a lot of pressure to carry out that work in such a short period of time. To get the car out before the pit lane closes for race 2. That can then sometimes finish some of those works on the grid, but a lot amount of pressure for the mechanics. That's where they really earn their money.
Look at that, Norby Michelis, Nicky Katzberg, Nesta Girolami not finishing. Well, another commercial break from us, and we'll be back with the main race still to come.